won't have getting it. And we are in.
Look at that.
We're on Blight. We're on Suffocation Pit. Crowd, I hope you guys are ready for another Rock'em Sock'em match of Blight on Suffocation Pit. Let's hear it for these two teams as they get started. We've got Obi on the Blight. A pretty standard build. I do like to see the Call of Brian there. We've got the Turn Back the Clock, Corrupt Intervention, and fan favorite Eruption. I always like the combo of Eruption and Turn Back the Clock because you can, you're not kicking every generator, so if you want to regress one and then set a trap for later, start some regression for later, that's really nice. We're going to start our first chase here on Pedro on a pretty strong rock pallet. We're just trying to kind of maintain pallet control here to maybe get some bounces. I think we're going to make that pallet. Okay, we will. We get the hit. We get the blind. We get the Champion of Light. We're going to get a little bit slower here as we continue our first chase.
Yeah, very nice start here. Pedro, one of the scariest survivors to chase, your #1 ladder, best 1v1 chaser, and also one of the best Blight players in the world. This is very scary, but we're getting a nice mind game here. Jungle Gym, 110's dropped, not fully safe, especially not against the Blight. We do see no finesse value, but we will be using the overcome. We're going to be reaching mid-map here, but this is not really the best chase to loop. If we die here, it's going to be catastrophic. We're going to be able to... Nice, we're going to win the 50 on the pallet, though. Incredibly crucial 50 there. That means we're going to be going to take this chase into the corner, but this right here is an open gen. This is a 4-gen around the main building, and it looks like we're going to be dying here. And I don't think, yeah, this generator, no one started it, so it looks like survivors are actually doing the generators closer to Shaq. No! It's reading out the slow vault. I mean, you got to play 50s. Eventually, you'll use them. Very nice job by Obi, though. That's an instant hook. Very fast coming out. Here we see a little bit of sneaky Dan. Oh, almost getting fouled, but not really. We saw both Deliverance and For the People on him. Very interesting build. And that's going to be very useful for Pedro, who has 2 perks, which only activate when he's healthy.
Unhook comes in, and we're gonna see that For the People play, so we slow down that tunnel out. Really good stealth play there by Dan. I want to throw back there too, by the way. Pedro did that slow vault, which looks funny, but let's remember he won about 5 50-50s before that. So if you're telling me to bet on coin flips with Pedro, Pedro's winning. We are gonna, instead of continuing chase on Pedro, we are gonna go hit the injured / broken Dan. We're gonna take the hook. It will be a Deliverance. I think. Not necessarily just for Turn Back the Clock. The thought process here might be, you know what? I know you got jelly. Get it out of the way, and then later on, if I find you, I can tunnel you out, right?
Yeah. I mean, and one main thing is, I talked about this is a 4-gen. I think it may have been a slight miscommunication. Usually you want to take chase away from the 4-gen, but it looks like we're kind of stuck here. And even though we hook Deli, we see it getting procced in the distance there. As long as we keep all the chases around the main building, the survivors eventually are going to have an insanely hard time because they somehow need to get multiple people on generators on this side of the map. Oh, we're seeing a little bit of scary gameplay here. That is Dan. Wait, that's Deliverance and Decisive.
Decisive, yeah.
Wait. That is very interesting, and Obi is absolutely reading that because he knows why would an injured Deliverance hooked survivor play for a down like this? The only reason that would be happening is if it's Decisive Strike. So he knows he's not interested in picking that up. He probably has one of his teammates with the timer.
Ooh,
hit through, finesse coming out even with the ping. Very nice. Of course, we don't want to commit that. We know Pedro was overcome. We saw it earlier, so he's just going to reach all the way bottom, and he's going to have to play for a reset. We find Rocket behind the tree. Are we able to convert this rush combination, though? Oh, we don't get anything to bump on. I think Rocket's going to be able to juke this. Very nice job, and now we have time to probably get the pick on Dan. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it, though. Wait, Decisive probably already run out. Yeah, we're just waiting one extra second to make sure. And look at this. This is a really rough position for the survivors. I think we have some progress on the top side of the map, but it's going to be very limited.
Well, you're absolutely right.
And we have the Decisive Strike player Death Hook already.
You're absolutely right about the fact that we're kind of playing, rather than tunneling a survivor, we're like tunneling some generators, if it's a silly point. That we're having a situation where, okay, I don't want to take a chase and tunnel someone out down the end of the map, get an unfavorable gen split, and then stick with that. Maybe this is something we learned on Friday. Maybe this is just some smart gameplay that we that Obi's decided is the best play for this moment. But yeah, we are keeping chases down in this gen setup. Dan gets unhooked. Dan, of course, is no longer broken, but Dan will, of course, have Decisive Strike. Obi knows it. Obi will probably potentially slug when we find and try and wait out the timer. Gotta imagine teammates are over there. Someone's looking at their watch. Someone's looking at their phone. Got a minute-long timer there on Dan's Decisive Strike. He is on Death Hook, but for the next about 30 seconds, he will be unkillable in a sense. You can see we've got, looking around this top side, we got an injury on Rocket. Gonna break that with our mind. Break it with our mind! The Turn Back the Clock on that corner generator on the top side of the map. We are chasing some scratch marks here, and we are going to get them down. Great bump logic there by Obi, and Rocket will go down. And once again, Eruption goes off on our generators, and we're just going to go, we're going to hoist them up on our shoulders and drag them back behind main building. If I'm not going to tunnel somebody out, every hook is going to be back here.
Wait, what are we seeing here? Yeah, there's one issue with these special builds they're running. Usually, Deliverance is accompanied with one perk that stops the killer from slugging you. But because we wanted both For the People and Decisive Strike on Dan as well, it means we don't have Unbreakable or Plot Twist or anything, so Dan cannot be slugged. Really nice job here. Another blind coming out with the champions, but you thought we were going to play for a tunnel out, but yeah, this is just not the game plan anymore. Usually you'll see even these top tier killers like Blight and Nurse playing for tunnel out is too risky, and it gives the survivors too much time on generators for free. So instead, Obi here, he plays it safe. He leaves Dan. Dan, we talked about it, he has Decisive Strike anyway, so downing him is just, like, it's not really worth it. Instead, we pressure the rest of the map. We got tags, we got the hook onto Rocket, deep in our 4-gen, and anytime Dan is getting found, he's basically unsafe. Like, Dan cannot do these generators, he's almost paralyzed.
Well, what's happening here too is Obi's playing this very smart. We were playing Suffocation Pit to the best of Suffocation Pit's benefit there. We were holding that mid-map cross. We're going to get a trade here by Nightlight. Both Nightlight and Pedro trying to come in, trying to get that save, but Obi holding that center part, that choke point in the middle of the map, catching them moving constantly. Dan is working main building generator. I thought he was working down the other. I mean, we're down to two, so obviously he's up here. Dan trying to stay hidden, but this is extremely risky, as you said.
If he gets found, it's over.
We still have Live. He's looking around. He knows he's here. He knows Dan is here. He doesn't know where, because he's seen Nightlight. He's seen Pedro, and he knows this is the gen progress. We're looking in the wrong place, and we run away. We assume he went around the other way, and we ran away. We ran into the map, but in fact, what happened was that's going to be a hit on Rocket. Was that Dead Hard? Was he still
I
injured?
think it was another Dead Hard. Another Dead Hard by Rocket.
Rocket with the Dead Hard, pressing E to win. Let's go. Break it with our mind again. Yeah, Dan, excellent stealth there, Center.
Yeah, I mean, this is still scary, though, because we see the scratch marks. We know Dan could still be around there. This is probably going to be this injured survivor, though. He finds Dan. Great flare by Dan. Let's go on the 16th ping. And now we can play this life on this pallet. This is one of the more unsafe pallets in the entire map, but with life you can do something, especially with the window open. We're gonna have to see insane movement. We don't get the hit. Obi with the slight mess up on a tech that's called the V1 tech, very appropriate since that's his teammate as well. And yeah, here we see we're able to make the window with the life, should be able to get a little bit of safety, and Obi's too scared. He doesn't want to commit. He sees multiple injured survivors generator popping further of sights, and we missed the hit. No conversion, and this is also the one healthy survivor. Are we really interested in chasing this? Both other survivors got a reset.
Full reset.
Full reset.
Full reset.
And we get the hit, but that's overcome, so Pedro's completely fine. He makes the main building. This is not the best chase to be chasing. No. Not the best spot to die, but what can you really do? He couldn't make the middle of the map, and we got the eruption as well, and that is once again, I believe, Dan.
That was a great sequence for Team Invictus. That whole set, the Dead Hard by Rocket, the stealth by Dan, the chase by Dan around that pallet, not falling for the V1 tech, hitting the live, etc., etc. Up until, yes, we did in fact down Pedro, but the reality was that whole time we get a hit on Dan here. This is a scary position. The fact is that whole time they managed to get one of the 4 generators done. This is probably going to be the end of Dan. We will be going down to, well, I don't know. Do we slug? Because we don't slug, and Nightlight gets this. Nightlight and Pedro finishing the last generator. We're going to get the hook on Dan. Now, here's the thing. Every single survivor is worth the same amount of hooks. Pedro is injured. Nightlight. Pedro is on the door. That is so questionable, but you know what? I don't like questioning Pedro, so I'm going to trust him. Pedro on the door, the only injured survivor. You think that'd be the one hiding since everyone's worth the same. Great series of bumps there, hitting Nightlight. Nightlight might be our target, but here comes Rocket to take the hit. The door is open. We're coming down to one of those photo finishes at the door. What's going to happen? We have to try. We only have one body block. Can we slip by? We're gonna break it here, but we do have a body block in play. We're doing the heal. What's going to happen?
We have Botany. Botany is really helpful here. This is one of the most impossible situations to be in as a survivor. A killer right in front of you, blocking you from the gate. Only one survivor is able to help. We see the flashlight coming out. Batman, please help us. I mean, once again, we're going to fatigue, but anytime Obi fatigues, anytime he takes a little bit of time, that is going to be Botany coming out the mist swing.
They heal. Whoa!
Wait, we're hitting
The
through
hit
it.
tank!
Wait, they're not out yet. They're not out yet.
They're out. No, they're gone.
They're
The hit
out.
tank comes through.
Obi getting too scared.
Rocket, get
got too
down,
scared.
Mr. President, to Nightlight, and he makes it out the door. What a great finish. And what was that? That was 6 hooks, 4 fresh?
Yeah, you could only see that at the start of the game, which we are loading in here. Crazy build, actually.
I don't like it.
By Obi.
I don't like
it. Totems on DDS, this is one of the most solved maps in the entire game. It's been played in comp for such a long time. Everyone at this level knows every single totem spawn. We know all of it. So I feel like Invictus is going to be finding those totems very soon. We're not even anywhere close to the box. I think
No,
Invictus.
he just picked up the box.
Yeah, no, like, we picked up the box, but usually you'll see a survivor rotating to get the box.
Oh,
but these
no.
survivors are probably so convinced that Obi knows where the box
Yeah,
is, they're
no,
not
you
even gonna
don't.
bother.
You
They're
don't.
not even gonna bother.
Obi knew exactly where when you spawn in, good Cenobites know exactly where the box is, but either know exactly or between one and two places, and where they spawn. I can tell you, based on where Obi spawned and based on where the survivors spawned, the survivors instantly knew there's no way we get that box. He's gonna get it. Let's make sure we're not anywhere near, so we can take a minute to get the chase started, and that's what's happened here. Pedro is in chase. We're gonna see the box picked up, and we're gonna go. But yeah, great box logic. Oh, check it out. We've already called out one of our totems here.
Yeah, that's one totem down, but we need 2 totems. As long as Ruin Undying is up, we add so much more pressure, especially while we're in Cenobite's realm. You know, we can't really do generators that much. This chase location actually lasting here. Usually all of these pallets around the gallows area are pretty unsafe because it takes just one nicely timed chain and you're hit. Like, look at that. You get chained, you're hit. Actually, wait. This short side on ping. Wait, this might be safe. We miss. We get the pallet.
Unreal.
Pedro making it around once again. Not dropping the pallet yet. We reach just a little bit too greedy. I think we have to try to play the pallets on here. But very good job taking the hit, realizing when you get hit, you make sure you reach Shack. Because now dropping Shack from this side, you should be able to reach the main building, which I briefly hinted at earlier is the place where survivors usually want to go. Actually, no, we're not going there just yet. I think we may be doing the generators in that area. And we're actually prioritizing staying away from active generators. With Chase, medium vault. It was actually medium vault, but we still don't connect it.
We see one of the totems that just went down. Sorry, both the totems have now gone down. This is why I didn't like the build.
Yeah.
We saw this earlier in the week. We saw some ruin. It just doesn't. We just don't get the value. Obviously, if you are able to keep the totems up, you can get some pretty strong value out of it. But the reality is, these survivors know where the totems spawn, and even it's just unlikely to happen. And now we're down to a 2-perk game. One of them being Sloppy Butcher.
Ooh, very nice read by Obi here. I was scared.
There.
This water tower window is so unsafe, but with the pallet still standing, all it takes is one good send and 151, and you could just extend your chase by like 30 seconds. Pain Res RNG being a bit unfortunate. It looks like all of the Pain Res were kind of like behind the main building. Very unfortunate, but either way, Obi taking that hook. That is at least 1 hook secured, and now we're playing with only 2 perks. We're playing with Sloppy, which is really strong, but you need a lot of hits, which, as we've seen...
Oh, this is big, though.
Wait, this is big.
This is big.
We missed the chain, but we find the survivor with the box, and I mean, you can't commit this. There's a reason survivors take the box towards main building, because if you get chased there with max distance, it's going to take literally 2 minutes before you get even hit once.
Yeah.
And Obi realizes it. He cannot commit onto Nightlight, even though it's the box and the chain hunt's about to start. We have to leave it. We have to take our right chases. Dan is still sticking a gen across the map. I think he is actually breaking the main free gen around Gallows right now. I didn't get a chance to look at the generators perfectly, but Rocket winning more 50s. Great send. We see the Aura add-on coming in here. A bit of a recent addition to the roster with Cenobite's add-ons being chased. Usually all Aura reading is banned in comp, like all Aura eating add-ons and perks. But Cenobite is the one exception, so we got a little bit of use there.
You nerfed his best add-on,
yeah, like
so you gotta like.
he's
it literally,
got nothing.
It's the same add-on, it's just totally different, right? So Rocket is gonna go down here. Really good chase by Rocket using pretty much just that pallet gym. We're gonna pull over here, and like you said, we had a little bit bad luck before, but not so much anymore. So we're gonna get a pain res here. We're gonna delay one of the generators. Box has spawned, but it's not. Pardon me. It's just started, so we have a long time before we get into another chain hunt. Obi sitting with 2 hooks. I thinking that the plan is going to be here to just go for. I mean, obviously we're getting towards the deeper in the match, but he's going for stages. We're going for freshes.
Yeah.
We're going to try and get some pain res value, delay the end of the game, get as many fresh hooks as possible, put your team in the best position, pick this generator. We're going to travel around looking.
We see the Crows arriving here. Crows, I feel like this is something a lot of people don't realize. Like lower tier or in normal games, you never see people looking at Crows. But we saw the Crows coming back there, which means I think it's been 20 seconds since someone moved around in that area. It might have been Nightlight, but I think Obi was actually trying to look for Pedro, who was still injured and could have been a way faster chase and a way faster hook
I
stage.
thought he might do this. Injured Rocket is doing the box, and yeah, in the good spot, but gets hit with that. I don't think we have enough time to get here before the vault comes through. The vault breaks the chains. The extra chains from Impaling Wire do not come through. Never mind. There, we get some there.
This doesn't do much, though. It's after the vault. And actually, wait, very nicely timed vault. I think it's going to force out a hit tank, which every hit with Sloppy is helping us. Every hit is just a good slowdown and more pressure, especially with Sloppy Butcher. We still have that injury onto Pedro.
That is the coolest bug I've ever seen.
Wait.
It's gone now. It
was,
it was sparkling around. It looked like we were flying through space.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not going for resets. Remember, Pedro was our first hook, and he's been injured ever since. We're seeing Generator being potentially 99, but I'm not entirely sure what the plan is. Pre-drop coming out miles away, and that is Pedro. We finally find him. Pedro's just been doing a gen this entire time instead of going for resets. And I think they're doing this basically, the stronger the killer, the more important the resets are. Yeah, wow, look at this. They're choosing to go into a position with 4 injured survivors. Look at that gen frog. The generators are almost done. The generators are done. We didn't see there was another survivor right there next to us doing the gen in our face. Nightlight baiting the killer, running towards Shaq. And we're already taking downs. We're already taking downs. This is crazy. Insane body blocks.
Huge body blocks by Rocket. Huge body blocks by Rocket. Rocket trying to stay. If you're wondering what's happening there, Rocket already been hooked. We don't want Rocket. We were going for Nightlight. Nightlight manages to get survive to get to the main building. Thanks to Rocket, that chain is going to do not a whole lot. Dan holding the box. The door is open.
Wait, Dan has the box. Wait, that's... Oh, wait, I mean, they're out. Oh,
they're out. They're out. Yeah, no.
It doesn't even matter.
Grab the box so that way only one. Because so for those who don't know, if the chain hunt gets to full, if you're holding the box, the person with the box gets the chain hunt.
And no one else.
No one else does, and that's going to be Rocket's 3 hooks are going to be gone, and a little bit of frustration swing there by Obi. We're going to see 3 hooks on Rocket. We're going to see 1 on Pedro for 4 hooks too fresh, and that may have been Obi's final killer match of the day, unless the survivors of Praxis can come through. Raider ain't getting worked on, right? So, but we're loading in here. We're gonna have to. And what?
Same build. No, pretty much the same build.
Okay.
Pretty much.
No protection for the ruin, but crowd control is an interesting pick.
I like that more.
Similar to what you said with the bamboozle, the same but different. It's better bamboozle, but can be broken. And then of course Sloppy again with pain rest. Keep in mind, everybody, these builds, the builds that they're running are locked in long before we play. So this wasn't like.
Look at that. We actually found the box.
And they did find the box, and they're working. Wow, it must have spawned.
Yeah, we lost the 50.
Oh, that's so interesting. Anyways, okay, so we're chasing Stillhead. That's a good start for our survivors, and if you want to see this, if you're a Praxis fan, that's what you need to see. A good start there for the survivors. Getting rid of that initial box, the initial chain hunt is not going to be a problem. It looks like we might have got lost in the sauce there a little bit, trying to find Stillhead, mind gaming the back there, and now we're just going to settle for a little bit of renovations here. Break out a couple doors. Look for our next chase. Survivors starting to tackle the generators. You can see Xanox about 25% done a gen. Marco and Selhey both touch a gen. It looks like they may have hopped off of it. One of them might be on main building, so they're looking to see what's happening here.
Just breaking all the doors, doing some renovation. We broke the shack doors, the main doors.
Get rid of them now so you don't got to get rid of them later, right?
Yeah, the only thing I don't like, usually on Survivor side, when you see there's no corrupt, you often know it's going to be totems. Like that's how defined the meta is. Usually if the killer isn't running corrupt, you know it's going to be ruin guaranteed. And if he's running ruin, there's a good chance he's running other totems. So I feel like the survivors could have tried maybe vaulting a edge map window or something just to activate crowd. We're going to see crowd activating here.
There it is.
And for those who don't know, crowd, the totem actually isn't active yet. Like it's not a hex totem until the first vault. Pretty bad hit coming out there. We're not max distance towards main building, and we get chained there. This is a terrible start. Do we make it to the
pallet here?
I mean, we are on the pallet. We saw another survivor
Big
there for the hit tank. We're running through it though. Gonna down the pallet with the last pixel. That is somehow still a hit. Are we here for the hit?
That
No,
looked
we're
like
not even on pallets.
That looked like a ping hit. Like it
it
wasn't,
was
but
the
it was.
last pixel,
That
yeah.
looked like a normal tournament hit.
Yeah. And look at this. We see someone right here. That means there's only 2 people on generators. We get the pain res. Both totems are still up. I hate calling it this early, but
I'm
yeah,
thinking the same thing.
like,
I didn't want to say it, but I agree.
This is not a playable position for the survivors.
That
So,
was
that's just it is what it is. Once again, the last pixel. Pedro has gotten used to the ping very well. We have to say, like, Pedro, he's usually playing on 40, close to 50 ping, but he has gotten perfectly used to the Germany ping here in Osnabrück.
We've only got one. Sorry, we've only got one generator done now, right there. We've only got one generator done, and we've already got a hook. We've already got a pain res. It slowed that down. We're now in chase here. We're doing a little bit of cleanup. There's just not enough gen progress done before we got that first down, and it's just really unfortunate. Again, I'm not trying to count out Team Praxis. If there is a team that can come back from this, we know it's one of these. These are some of the best players in the entire world, with the exception of potentially Elysium, who the winner will be facing in the final. Interesting pathing here. We see by V1, but I don't think we're gonna. Oh, I was gonna say I don't think we make that pallet, and we sure as heck don't make it if we get chained up. And we're gonna get our second hook on V1. That is 2 hooks. We need a total of 4. Xynox working on a generator across the map, but we are gonna get a basement hook here. This might be pretty hard to get saved.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we only have 1 injury, and I assume usually you want to have the injured survivor as far away as possible. So probably Marco doing a gen across the map. I don't know if we can even play for resets at this point, because V1 being on hook in basement, it puts you on a timer. You know, you have about 60 seconds to have someone rotate towards that generator. And yeah, here we see Marco doing a gen. TR increasing, so I don't think Pedro is going to be interested in camping this. Wait, is he?
He's upstairs in main.
He's just camping.
He's upstairs in main. I saw him there for a second.
I mean, maybe the main generator had progress. I can't really remember.
Okay, but think about this too. If we camp V1 and nobody can save, we are 1 hook away from a tie, and they've only got 3 generators done. And now they could get 3 gens. But it's a 70-second. Good long distance snap. That's not. We're not going to do anything with that, but we're delaying.
It's a good delay.
It's a good, like, again, V1 is about to die, and we're delay. Xynox finishes the box, gets back on a generator. Maybe there's a world where they cook and chase and they get the gens done, but that was a really good. Also, nice Pedro using the chains to get some information, using it as like a drone.
They've reset.
Looking in the sky, seeing what we can see. The reset comes in. V1 is dead on the second hook. Survivors are now 1 hook away from a tie, and obviously then they'll need to get everyone out the door if they want to even come close to tying it. There's a lot of work left to do.
Yeah, and I mean, we're basically halfway with the generators. Like, we only popped 2 generators. There's 2 gens with a bit of progress, but I mean, if we were able to do that much with 4 survivors up, how much are we going to be able to do with 3 survivors up? Like, honestly, this is a position where normally in tournaments, you might even see a killer trying to play for a 4K1. We still have our crowd up, which is not really slowdown, but it's going to help us in chases a lot. Crowd is a lot stronger than other chase perks like Bamboozle or Rapid Brutality or Save the Best for Last, because it is, of course, a Hex Totem. Like, it's stronger, but it has the downside of being able to get cleansed. But Survivors somehow have not found the totem yet. We're doing a really good job here in chase, so taking a good hit, taking it to this very large building, playing max distance around it, but eventually you do get forced to play a pallet, and these filler pallets is where CENOBITE shines. 1 chain is all it takes, but luckily we have a survivor to help here. We're actually chaining the other survivor who is trying to play for the hit tank. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Silhe being chased. I believe lasting. No, not lasting. He does get chained and hit, because once all of these survivors are injured, we can just commit anyone we want. And if survivors stay injured, then they cannot even play for the pull.
Well, the scary thing is, too, we've got Ruin off the board, but crowd control's still active.
Yeah.
So there's like, we're eliminating some of the limited resources on this map. And like main building, very, very strong area, but it's very strong because you can cycle and cycle and cycle the vaults. Well, crowd control blocks for the last 5.
Yeah.
So
look at this.
You're just gone. Xynox comes in, tanks a hit. Again, the survivors are doing as good a job as can be expected, but they have such a tall order. We see Silhe with the box. We're gonna go and curve around, and we nail Silhe again. If we get a hook on anybody here, Silhe, even if we manage to make it to a resource, we're gonna be in a chain hunt for Silhe alone, starting right about now. I don't even think we make it anywhere. Yeah, I was gonna say, even if we already don't play anything, we would be stuck with chains hampering our chase while we're injured. Silhe gets downed, Silhe gets hooked, and the other 2 survivors are not only injured, they're also gonna have to cope with the chain hunt. Not only is the chain hunt going to slow them down, it's also information for the killer because the killer can see the chain spawning.
Oh yeah, and you can like hear them from a distance as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's the last hook we can allow.
Yeah, no, we're on the tie condition now. Any extra stage is game over, and I feel like all these hit tanks we've been taking, it just kind of shows how desperate this position is. Usually when you get to the free zone, wait, that's box again.
Box again.
We're cycling boxes. Wait, that's crazy.
That was also the win, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like taking hits in 3v1 is something you almost never do. Usually it's way more important to have like survivors healthy in the 3v1, and you'll almost never see them playing for hit tanks. Like it's very, very, very rare to see any hit tanks in 3v1s, and now we saw multiple back to back to back because
it was a desperation play.
It's a desperate.
You have if you don't, you die.
Yeah,
if
all
you
the
do,
gens
you die.
all the gens were 0, and there's nothing else they can do. So they just tried it, and then maybe like the last person that after the hit tanks is in chase gets an insane chase, and then they can and then they can like stack the last generator, and then they get the resets, and then they get a pull and end game, and they somehow get a tie. But it was just a desperation play, and it was the only thing they could do. But we all kind of knew where this was going.
It's like, well, that was a dumb thing to do. What else could I do?
I mean,
die.
they're gonna get 4K'd because of it. Yeah, like,
you do it and die, or you don't do it and die. It was basically it. You needed a juicer chase is the only option. And but again, good effort. Honestly, like it's going to be a 4K1, but a little bit of a desperation play there is why we got this. Again, sometimes the scoreboard does not reflect how close the game was.
They could have gotten a very normal result. Like they had the 3v1 with a good gen split with everyone healthy. If they wanted to, they could have easily gotten like 6 stages, maybe around there somewhere if they played the 3v1 normally. But yeah, as we said, they had to play for hit tanks, they had to play it risky, and they had to rely on some chase, and it didn't work out, sadly. So that is a 3-0.
3-0.
Reverse sweep. Invictus coming back, and they came back confident, and it showed. Like they got used to the stage, and they showed who's boss. Yeah,
that's what Nightlight said yesterday, and Rocket echoed it as well, and it just seems like it's absolutely true. It's just like we needed one round just to figure it out. We figured it out, and did he smack him on?
Ban him.
Absolutely toxic killer. Absolutely toxic killer. Killers are all toxic. Anyways, no. Except for the survivors who were toxic, no. Yeah, sorry, no. They needed one round to kind of get it done, to figure it out, and they took it.